Hi everyone, my name is Michell. So today I'm going to make a presentation about the musculoskeletal system. Thank you. So firstly, we're going to talk about the human skeletal structure. The human skeletal structure is a framework of bones. It has approximately 206 bones, along with cartilage, ligaments, and tendons. It is divided into two main sections, which is the exoskeleton and the appendicular skeleton. The exoskeleton forms the central axis, consisting of the skull, vertebral column, ribs, and sternum. It has 74 bones. Then now we have the appendicular skeleton. It includes 126 bones of limbs, which are arms and legs, and girdles, which are shoulders and pelvis, that attach them to the exoskeleton in lumping motion. We have a male and female skeleton. The male are generally larger, heavier, and more robust, while female skeleton are lighter and have a pelvis adapted for childbirth. They are key bones and critical for protection and functions. We have the skull, which protects the brain, the rib cage, which shields the heart and lungs, and also the vertebrae, which safeguard the spinal cord. For strength, we have for strength and support, we have the femur, which is the longest, strongest, and heaviest in the body. For movement, we have joints, bones in the legs and back. Thank you. Now we are talking about the synovial, cartilaginous, and fibrous joints. Synovials are freely movable, enclosed by a fibrous joint capsule with an inner synovial membrane that produces synovial fluid. The importance of synovial is to provide the greatest degree of mobility, allowing for a vast body movement. Synovial fluid lubricates the joint, absorbs shock, and provides nutrients to the articular cartilage. Then secondly, we have the cartilaginous joint. Bones are joined by cartilage, either hyaline or fibrocartilage. These joints allow for limited movement, providing a middle ground between the mobility of synovial joint and the immobility of fibrous joints. The function is important for joints that need to absorb shock while still permitting some motion, such as joints between vertebrae. Then lastly, we have the fibrous joints. Bones are tightly bound together by dense fibrous connective tissue. These joints are essentially movable, providing strength and stability rather than mobility. This is crucial for structure that must be held rigidly in place, such as the sutures between the bones of the skull, which protects the brain. Thank you. Now we are talking about the synovial joint on its own as a whole. A synovial joint is characterized by the presence of fluid-filled joint cavity contained with fibrous capsule. It is the most common type of joint found in the human body and contains several structures which are not seen in fibrous or cartilaginous joints. The three main features of synovial joint are articular capsule, articular cartilage, synovial fluid. The articular capsule surrounds the joint and is continuous with a periosteum of articulating bones. It consists of layers: a fibulous layer, which is the outer one, consisting of white fibrous tissue known as the capsular ligament. It holds together the articulating bones and supports the underlying synovial and a synovial layer, which is the inner one, in a highly vascularized layer of serous connective tissue. It absorbs and secretes synovial fluid, and it is responsible for the mediation of nutrients exchanged between blood and joints. Thank you. Okay, the next question is the explanation of the properties and functions of tendons, ligaments, and cartilage. So tendons, ligaments, and cartilage are connective tissue with distinct properties and functions. Tendons are muscle to bone. They are muscle to bone. I will start with tendons, sorry. So tendons are muscle to bone. They are muscle to bone, and they are strong and elastic. They are fibrous cores with collagen fibers that are tightly packed in parallel arrangement. Their function is to connect muscle to bone, allowing movement when muscle contract. Then secondly, we have ligaments. Ligaments are tough elastic bands with collagen fibers running in multiple directions. Its function is to connect bone to bone, providing stability to joints. Then lastly, we have the cartilage, which is a flexible rubbery tissue that is smooth and elastic. It lacks blood vessels, meaning it receives nourishment from the surrounding fluid through diffusion. Its function, the joint cushioning, which acts as a shock absorber in joints, protecting bones from impact. It has a joint cushioning, which acts as a shock absorber in joints, protecting bones from impact. Thank you. Okay, now I'm talking about the cardiac, skeletal, and smooth muscles. I will start with skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle is attached to bones and is responsible for voluntary movements such as walking or lifting objects. Contraction is controlled by somatic nervous system, meaning it is consciously controlled. Skeletal muscle fibers are striated and under voluntary control. Then secondly, we have the cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle is found only in the heart. It is involuntary, meaning contraction is done without conscious control. Cardiac muscle cells are branched, striated, and connected by intercalated disc that allows rapid electrical transmission. This enables the heart to contract rhythmically and continuously. Cardiac muscle is specialized for rhythm, involuntary contracting through its intercalated disc. Then lastly, we have the smooth muscle. Smooth muscle is found in the walls of internal organs, such as the intestines, blood vessels, bladder, and airways. It is involuntary and non-striated, meaning it lacks visible stripes. The cells are speedo-shaped, each with a single nucleus. Smooth muscle contracts slowly to support the function like peristalsis, blood vessels, constriction, and bladder emptying. Smooth muscle is non-striated and responsible for slow involuntary movements in organs. Thank you. Okay, now I'm explaining about the sliding filament theory of muscle contraction. The sliding filament theory explains about muscle. It is a process where actin filaments slide past myosin filaments, causing the muscle fiber to shorten. The actin filaments are thin and have a double helix structure, while the myosin filaments are thick and have a globular head. The myosin heads bind to the actin filaments and pull them towards the center of the muscle fibers. This causes the muscle to shorten and the muscle to contract. This theory is important because it helps us understand how muscles work. The sliding filament theory of a muscle contraction involve the steps like resting state, actin, and myosin filaments overlap only slightly and muscle fibers are relaxed. A nerve impulse stimulates the muscle fibers. It causes the release of calcium ions from the sarcoplasmic reticulum into the sarcoplasm. Calcium ions bind to troponin, causing tropomyosin to move. It exposes the myosin binding sites of actin. Myosin heads then bind to these sites and forms the cross bridges. The ATP, which is known as the adenosine triphosphate, molecule is hydrolyzed and causes the myosin head to pivot. It pulls actin filaments towards the center of the sarcomere. The cycle continues as long as calcium ions are present and ATP is available, resulting in the shortening of sarcomeres and muscle contraction. Thank you. Okay, the last one is I'm explaining about how antagonist muscles bring tension and flexion of either the elbow joint or the knee joint. So antagonist muscles work in pairs so that when one muscle contracts, the opposite must relax to allow movement. At the elbow joint, the biceps brachii and tricep brachii form the main antagonist pair. Elbow flexion happens when the biceps brachii contracts, pulling the radius upwards and decreasing the angle of the elbow joint. During these movements, the triceps brachii relax, acting as the antagonist to allow smooth bending. The biceps acts as the agonist for elbow flexion, while the triceps relaxes. Elbow extension occurs when the triceps brachii contracts, pulling the ulna to strengthen the arm. At the same time, the bicep brachii relaxes so that the elbow can extend fully. During elbow extension, the triceps acts as the prime mover, while the biceps serves as the antagonist. Antagonist muscles cause flexion and extension of the knee joint because at the knee, the antagonist pair is the quadriceps and hamstrings. Knee flexion occurs when the hamstrings muscles contract, pulling the lower leg backwards and reducing the knee angle. The quadriceps relax during this movement. The hamstrings act as the antagonist. The hamstrings act as agonists for knee flexion while the quadriceps relax. I think I have said this one. Yeah, I think I'm done. Thank you.